Hi friends, and welcome to Tiny Technical Tutorials, where we do bite-sized lessons for today's tech. In this video, I'll show you how to create a trial instance for Microsoft Dynamics 365. Whether you're just getting started with Dynamics 365 or you've been using it for a while, having a trial available is hugely helpful for learning and getting hands-on practice. Just a couple of conceptual things first. You might know there's lots of different apps that make up the Dynamics 365 platform. Today I'm going to show you how to create a trial instance with apps that are the traditional CRM or customer engagement apps, namely the sales and service nodes here. Once you set up that trial and install all the enterprise apps, here's what you're going to get. Things like Field Service, Customer Service, Project Service, and Sales Hub. All of the other apps here are a little bit more specialized, like Human Resources or Customer Feedback, and then some of them, like Trials of Finance and Operations and Supply Chain, those are only available to channel partners and customers enrolled in the Business Ready Enhancement Plan. But regardless, for any of the trials, you're going to want to start at trials.dynamics.com, which is where we're going to go next. Here I have a new tab opened up in the Edge browser. We'll go to trials.dynamics.com, and here's where you can get started with the various trials. I can either start with sales or service. You'll see the other things down here as well, but we'll back up and go to sales, and this is going to give me a 30-day trial. We'll say try for free. Here it's going to ask you for a work or school email ID. But this is only going to work if your work or school already has Dynamics 365 set up, and this will basically tack you onto that subscription. But if you're just trying to get a personal trial to play around with, what do? It's not super obvious, right? But if you click on the Start Your Free Trial button, you'll see in the error message or just below it, you now have an option to set up a new trial account instead. So we'll say click here, and this will take us to a new page to enter our information. I'll enter my email address and say next. In my case, I have actually set up an account using this email address. If the same is true for you, you can always create a new account instead though, and just move past that. Obviously, you could choose to use a different email address as well if you wanted to do that. So I'm going to fill in my information here. I'll pause the video and come right back. All right, I've filled in the information here. We'll go next. You do need to verify your identity, so you need to enter a valid phone number. I'll have this send me a code. Once you get the code, it should be pretty quick. Enter that, say verify, and then you'll need to come up with a domain name. Now, in the real world, you'll probably want your own custom domain, but this is going to allow you to do yourbusiness.onmicrosoft.com. So you just need to select that first part. For me, I'm going to do TTT, Tiny Technical Tutorials, YouTube.onmicrosoft.com. We'll check for availability. That's available. Excellent. Say next. And then you need to create a username and password so you can sign on to your account. I'll do admin, enter the password, then scrolling down, I'll leave this option deselected and say sign up. This can take a few minutes, so I'll pause the video and be right back. All right, it looked like all of that worked. You will also get a confirmation email, but from the screen you can just say get started. This is going to take you to admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. You can always just go directly there as well. You might be prompted to sign in prior to getting to this page, so if you get that prompt, you'll want to sign in using that username that you created. In my case, it was admin@tttyoutube.onmicrosoft.com, and then whatever password you came up with. To get the sales and service and other applications installed, you first need to create a new environment. Now, helpfully, it popped this up for me here over on the right, but if you don't get to that screen automatically, you can always come up here and click the plus sign for New, and that'll bring up the New Environment dialog. You should do this as your first step, even though you've got that default environment. You'll want to leave that one as it is. So for the new environment, I'm going to say TTT. Very importantly, for type, you'll select Trial Subscription Based. Region, I'll leave that US where I am, but you can change that, or it might default to something else for you. We'll say Next. Here you can change your default language and your currency. But the most important thing is that this here is toggled to Yes to enable Dynamics 365 apps, and then automatically deploy all enterprise applications. Yours may or may not default to that, so just make sure that you've made those updates, and then save. Here you'll see that the state is preparing instance. It might take a few minutes for this to complete. You can always refresh to see the latest. And it looks like we're ready. Okay, to actually get to those applications like sales and service, you can click into your environment, and then you want to grab the environment URL. I'll just open this one up in a new tab. Give it a minute to load. And here we go. Here's the different applications you can launch. Let's just say you want to get into the sales app. And you're off and running. So there you go. That's how to create a Dynamics 365 trial instance for the traditional CRM or customer engagement applications. If you found this content valuable, we always appreciate the likes, subscribes, and shares.